Hi, welcome back. My name is Daniel, and in this video I'd like to talk about whether long COVID and ME-CFS, myalgic encephalomyelitis / chronic fatigue syndrome, if it's the exact same thing or if it is different. And I do that because a lot of people are confused about those labels, saying that I have a view of those symptoms, but also different symptoms. I'm not really sure what I'm having. Maybe I have this. What do you think? That's what they ask to me. So I'll start, for the ones who are in a hurry, with my personal opinion. And that is that it's the exact same thing. Plus, I also advise people to drop the labels, to completely get rid of them, because I don't think they're helpful. The labels are trying to describe a collection of symptoms, and therefore, a collection of symptoms is always a syndrome. And everyone with these syndromes experience slightly different symptoms. So it's not expected that everyone feels the exact same way. So everyone is experiencing symptoms, and these symptoms are mind-body symptoms, for example. These are symptoms created by the limbic brain to protect you against a stressor that is usually an emotion. This can be pain, fatigue, brain fog, etc. On top of that, people also experience symptoms in their organs. Organ symptoms is what I call them. For example, POTS, or shortness of breath, or acid reflux. And then there are also healing symptoms. Healing symptoms is a viral infection, I think, in the first place, because your body is creating a fever to cleanse the body, maybe from the virus, but also from other junk that has been stored in the body or collected in the body over a period of time. And there are a few other types of symptoms, but it's always, in my opinion, the best to just describe the symptoms and to see what we're dealing with. A label such as ME-CFS, long COVID, can also help people in a way that they feel that their symptoms are justified or real when the entire world does not understand them. So I'm not aiming to discredit anyone in their own feelings, symptoms, conditions, or illness. Not at all. But I'm saying that as long as the label has no known cause for the symptoms and no known cure, then staying with a label means that you're going to stay stuck. And in the past, when people recovered, for example, from ME, they would receive a lot of backlash and negativity from others claiming that they can't heal. So then people are stuck, but also become negative about their label and maybe frustrated, and they project that on others. Because in the beginning, it can give you a sense of comfort, but only then, only in the beginning. And if we look on what the CDC has to say about those conditions, then it says the following summary. So to start with ME-CFS, it is a serious and often long-lasting illness that keeps people from doing their usual activities. It makes physical and mental exertion difficult. Symptoms include trouble thinking, severe tiredness, and other symptoms. There is no known cause or cure. Care usually means treating the symptoms that most affect a person's life. And if we then compare that to the one from long COVID, we get this. Long COVID is a serious illness that can result in chronic condition requiring comprehensive care and may cause disability. Long COVID can include a wide range of ongoing symptoms and conditions that can last weeks, months, or even years after the COVID-19 infection. Anyone who had COVID can experience long COVID, including children. COVID-19 vaccination is the best available tool to prevent long COVID. I'm not sure if that's true, because most of my clients had the vaccine And a lot of people that I met never had COVID in the first place, and they got long COVID from the vaccine. So I'm not sure about this claim. I think this is not true. And then living with long COVID can be difficult and isolating, especially when there are no immediate answers or solutions. And the final paragraph tells you already a little bit about our healthcare system. We want magic pills and cures. We want a pill, treat that for a week or two and feel better. But with long COVID, ME-CFS, that is just not the case. But saying that there is no cure is also quite, not really true. If you look up all the recovery stories that are on YouTube, for example. And if you scroll down in these descriptions, you can read a lot more. They're different words, but in the end, it's the exact same description. So I think they're the same. And they all come from first someone had a viral infection, like a fever or a cough. I call that a healing phase. And then after that, symptoms develop. So all these post-viral conditions are actually the same, whereas ME-CFS, it can also happen after different circumstances, because there are a lot of similar conditions, such as a viral infection, that can trigger the body into releasing old stress. Because what I discovered is that when the virus, or let's say the body, with a fever and the immune system cleans the body, maybe old emotions that come up, they get into your body, they're ready to be processed, and the brain stays in resistance, and you notice like a lot of symptoms, like mind-body symptoms, but for example, also stress symptoms, like restlessness, being wired, difficulty sleeping, tinnitus, etc. So from my opinion, it's the exact same thing, triggered maybe by this virus or this virus or this virus, or even other things, like pregnancies, for example. Pregnancies also tend to bring up emotions. And then if you can't process them, you can also stay stuck in a post condition. And in the past, my own chronic fatigue syndrome also started after a virus. And the virus took around 3 weeks, and I wanted to go to the doctor after a week because I still felt really bad. And the doctor then just told me, well, there are not really easy and simple tests to test for these viruses, but it's just a virus infection. Give your body some time and it will heal. So nobody was really tested for the flu, for Epstein-Barr virus, or for COVID, because COVID also existed in the past. And since a few years, most of my clients actually identify or use the label long COVID. And in the beginning, I would just accept that and think that they've been tested with a PCR test, for example, which is also something like a controversial topic. But I kept, in the last few weeks, I was questioning the client, like, did you have a test? And then the majority said no. Someone else had a test, someone else, and I must have been infected by them. So there's not really a 100% certainty whether they actually had COVID or not when they are experiencing long COVID. So there's a lot to say about it. But in the end, I don't think any of it matters. I think we should just determine the symptoms and see what every symptom needs. So for example, when you have POTS, that means that an emotion is attached to your heart. Dealing with the emotion and processing it could result in an immediate improvement. The same counts for mind-body symptoms. If the limbic brain prevents you from feeling an emotion by distracting you with a symptom that catches all your attention, then you should do the opposite, because the symptoms are destroying your life. So tuning into your body where you process the emotions is the way to go. And by processing it fully, the exact emotion that is causing the exact symptoms disappear. And I know that this is a claim that is not scientific, because it's actually pretty funny that I actually received a message from Google saying that my claims are controversial in the YouTube videos that I make. But when I share videos from people with their recovery stories, then suddenly it's okay, because those are just experiences. And if you are a scientist, then please reach out and let's make this completely official. Because right now there are thousands of stories of people who have symptoms, connect with the emotions, release it, and become symptom-free. And it doesn't mean that it is easy, because if the symptoms are there to prevent you from feeling any emotion, then we're dealing with a divided mind, where one part of your mind wants to heal or become symptom-free, which is not the same. And the other part wants to prevent you from healing, from releasing the emotion. So we should always assume that there is a lot of resistance involved, and that dealing with the resistance is probably the most important aspect in any healing journey, especially from these types of syndromes. If you'd like to know more about why I think that viruses bring up all the emotions, because I believe that the body is ready to let go of a lot of old emotions, old junk, old negative energy that it has stored, then I recommend checking out this podcast. And please like and subscribe. And I wish you a beautiful healing journey.